Okay, I have that mounted on the back of my lathe on the splice shield, so let's hopefully get kind of a good view. Anyway, we're going to wind this in. We got some steel there. We'll just kind of clean that out, and we'll take our piece of steel. We'll go this way. Now this is a three chuck. I have bigger chucks. I have a 4. It's 2 inches in diameter bigger too. It's a 8-inch or 10-inch. This is, or 8-inch. This is a 6-inch. So let's wind this down. Okay, and because I wasn't really thinking here, we're going to have to switch the bit again to go to the other side so we can get a decent. We're going to have to smooth this guy out. So I'm going to do that first. So I'm going to use my good cutter here, the one I'm so proud of. But I really do need some more cutters. I'll order some tonight on Amazon. I think they're sold by, these are from India, and which is okay. They add, I think, 5% cobalt, and so I think they do a pretty good job. You know, cobalt, high-speed steel, same stuff to roll around. So let's get that in the holder. Put it up here. Oops. Okay, so before we turn this or get this thing going, which, okay, we have power to the lathe. We're going to be doing some cuts. We're going to smooth this thing out, but before we do that, we're going to move this unit over here, and let's see if I can do this right so you guys can see this. I'll be moving this about right here. Lock that in. Come down a ways. We'll bring this down. Let's see. Now I don't know if you guys can see the gauge, but we want to make sure that doesn't really move much. Okay, so we're not this is bent, okay? And let's take a peek here to see if you guys can actually see the gauge. You can barely see the gauge, but there's a little movement on the needle, and one rotation we're showing about 0.02 of an inch off. So it's probably because the rod is bent. So we're going to take this off, and we're going to approach this real slowly until we can get this unit straightened out. I think I'm going to go buy some more steel tomorrow. One of my favorite things to do. So let's bring this guy in here. And bring this guy over here. We're going to do this manually first. Now we know our cutter is right on for the height, and it's double checked that, so we're going to bring this guy back here forward. Oops, we don't need to do that, but we do need to say the height, and actually the height is a little off, so we need to bring that cutter just down a ways. We want the cutter to be in the center of the piece of metal. Let's look at that cutter now. Almost. Go up a little further. You know, the sad thing, you know, they always say, well, America should become more, oh, that was dumb. We need to be able to do these things ourselves, but quite frankly, I cannot buy any of these tools in Portland, Oregon. I can't buy this lathe. I can't buy these little tools. Fortunately, I can get the steel, but that's about it. So these things are just, we have to do a mail order. which is kind of sad. Okay, so I'm going to come through here. Okay. And I'm going to turn this guy on, and it looks like power start. Let's see, we're disengaged. I'm just going to manually do this. Oh, and here we go. Okay. So pull this guy back a ways, and let's see what happens. Yeah, I have complete clearance all the way to here. I'm not going to hit anything. And let's turn it on. Wrong way. Okay, you can kind of see where it's not spinning correctly there. So let's introduce the cutter real lightly. And come back. You can see the different colors there. If I turn this thing off, you can see, yeah, it definitely was out of whack. Not too bad, but it's definitely out of whack, a couple thousandths of an inch. So we're going to do some reverse cuts after I get it smoothed out, then we'll pull it out. So cutting direction. Okay, here we go again. Let's introduce the cutter slowly. Starting to get more shiny because we're getting more of the surface area done. Okay, another inner cut, little in. Boy, look at that beautiful cut from that cutter I made. The big grinder makes a big difference. It doesn't get any better than that. Okay, let's look at our cut now. Let's see if we've come all the way around. Yep, we've come all the way around. Let's get this out. Remember, this is stainless steel. It's very sharp. Shouldn't probably do that. And I'm going to double check that my direction is correct. So I'm going to do the auto feed here real quick. And let's see that if it goes out. And here we go. So, on. Now auto feed. Okay, so you can see it's going in an outward direction, so we're going, yay, that's right. Okay, so pull that cutter out of ways. We're going to move this in about right here. We'll introduce our cutter, and then we'll do an auto out. So, okay, there's a good cut. Okay, we're coming out slowly. We're on auto feed now, so we'll get a much better cut. It's looking really good. Okay, stop our feed, turn the power off. That looks pretty good. We're going to come in one more time just because we like the danger. And we're going to feed it in here, but before I do that, I'm going to put a little oil on that to get even a smoother cut. So let's turn it on. Oil. Feed on. Oops, not yet. Come in again. Get our cutter on the surface. Just barely touch this time. There we go. Nice smooth cut. We're taking probably a thousandth off. Maybe 1.5 thousandths off. looks like I know what I'm doing. Get a little smoke there, that's normal. My cutter's staying nice and cool. That cut is just phenomenal. Okay, life doesn't get much better than that. Okay, so there we go. We have a pretty good cut. You can see the kind of discoloration there. That's part of the rolled steel, and that's what creates a lot of havoc for cutters. I have a very strong lathe. This is a big lathe. I have a lot of horsepower. So I just cut right through that stuff. I could probably speed it up to help with the rolled steel. But then again, I'm working with stainless steel, and you don't want to go too hot. You'll overheat our high-speed cutter. So anyway, that's it for now. I'm going to spend about the next 3 hours now trying to figure out my thread speed, my thread rate, my thread depth, and this is the real hard stuff. And we'll be back soon.